Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
But, of course, what everybody is absorbed in, really, is the prospect of a Trump candidacy leading to November. Now, I've been talking here on the West Coast to a number of people about this. We'll be reporting on the programme next week about that. One in particular, Ann Coulter, who is a fairly fiery commentator on the Conservative right and is one of the people who was the first, she claimed she was one of the first, to go with Donald Trump. And this is not, I would say, Michelle, a normal interview in the sense that you can't really get a word in edgeways when you're talking to somebody like her. Well, thank you, John. She did call me at one point in the interview baby cakes, which, is the first time that's happened to me. Anyway, we can hear her now. And this is really just being run as an indication of the real guts of the Trump campaign. This is what it's about. This is the kind of effort that's being made to lure people on. This is the sort of stuff that is being said to try to get you on Trump's side. Ann Coulter, here she is.
He's upsetting, annoying, driving crazy all the people in the Republican Party and, quote, conservative movement, whom I want to upset, annoy, and irritate. I mean, they've been acting for 20 years like they're the smart half of the team. No, they have completely betrayed the American voter, completely. Americans don't want immigration. They don't want any more. Why can't we have a home? Everybody else can have a home. You see, National Geographic and, the indigenous people, and they love their home. I'm going home. No, we're the only people on earth who aren't allowed to have a home.
But you're a country of immigrants. We are not. If someone had said that about Jewish immigration into New York a century ago, would you have approved of it?
Again. That's like 2% of the population. Well, in fact, that's like 2% of the population. That did not overwhelm our culture. Yeah, we take immigrants, but we have pauses every once in a while. We're being overwhelmed. You've been out here in California. You go to neighborhoods, people aren't speaking English.
So we're at what you see as the central issue of this campaign, namely immigration. Now,
100%.
How long do you think it would take to build a 30, 40, 50-foot wall along 2,000 miles of American terrain? And if the president of Mexico says, I'm not going to pay for it, what then happens? Just take us through the practicalities.
Well, if only we had a master developer who had built 100-story buildings where you can flush the toilet and eat creme brulee on the 110th floor. If only we had someone like that running for president. And by the way, who cares if Mexico pays for it? But you bet they're going to pay for it.
Why should they?
Why should they? Because he's right. They have been sending rapists, drug dealers. I mean, this entire heroin problem, which is a huge problem in America right now. It's sickening, the number of people who are dying from overdoses and just wrecked lives, wrecked communities, wrecked states. That is 100% a problem of having Mexico on our border. Immigration is the issue the voters have been defied on for 20 years. I mean, both Republicans and Democrats have tried to slip through amnesties 3 times in the past 10 years. They got shut down by the American people calling in and shutting down the switchboards. How many times do we have to tell them we don't want amnesty?
Well, the last amnesty that was introduced in America was by Ronald Reagan in 1986.
That's right.
And yet...
sure reflects on his legacy. At least he only made the mistake once. These other Republicans want to keep making the exact same mistake. Half the Republicans running for president gave illegal aliens in-state tuition or driver's licenses. It's madness. No. But the main point of what Trump is doing, it's putting Americans first. Not the rich, not the Wall Street, not the corporations. And Trump is the only one speaking for Americans on the bad trade deals, on immigration, on putting America first and not continuing to pay for NATO.
Do you think it's a dangerous world or not? Do you think Putin is dangerous?
Yes, but I care about keeping it safe here. I don't care about what happens to the Ukraine any more than I think Russia should care what we do to illegals here in Texas. I have an idea. Good luck to the rest of the world, but let's keep America safe.
What's the rationale for saying all Muslims should be banned from the United States?
The rationale is 9/11, Fort Hood, Boston Marathon, San Bernardino Community Center, any number of other terrorist acts. And when they're not, I haven't finished, I'm still answering. When they're not committing terrorism, flying planes into our skyscrapers and shooting up innocent civilians, what are they? What good are they? They're on welfare. They're committing small petty crimes. They are completely ripping off the government.
Every person,
no, it doesn't have to be everyone, but most of them.
You're saying that everyone who is born and raised in Islam
no, it's not everyone.
and who practices that religion should be considered. Well,
why do we don't need any of them. Frankly, we don't need the British. I don't know why we're blocking the British and letting in Somalis who go to Minnesota, and 90% are on welfare. Most don't have jobs. The crime rate's gone through the roof. They can't afford to pay for their own people. I don't think we need the British to come in, but if we gotta let somebody in, I know. How about people who speak our language and won't immediately go on welfare, and some percentage of whom will commit terrorist acts? We've been very generous to the rest of the world. It's got to stop now. America needs a little me time.
Your prediction, therefore, is that Donald Trump will win.
I think so. I'm not as confident about the presidency. And why is that? It's not because of women voters. It's a question of whether the Democratic Party has already changed the country enough. Oh, and by the way, do not imagine Democrats are for mass immigration to the third world because of great humanitarian concerns. Post-1970 immigrants vote 8-2 for the Democrats. They've changed the electorate. California, where we're sitting now, used to give us Republican presidents, Reagan, Nixon. No Republicans getting elected statewide anymore. Well, this is Teddy Kennedy's Immigration Act. They're trying to do that to the whole country. So the question is it too late? They had it wired. Have they already done it? Are there not enough Americans voting in this election for Trump to win?
And in your view, what happens if he loses?
It's over. We're going to be homesick for the rest of our lives because America's gone.
Jim, baby cakes, Nochti, reporting from the U.S. presidential campaign trail.
Criminals know whose house they can home invade when people are there. This is why home invasions are 10 times higher in Britain than they are in this country, because there's no private gun ownership. Why can't we get a record of women who have had abortions? They get money from Planned Parenthood. They get money from Medicare, from Medicaid. Much of this is their tax subsidies. I think, mothers might want to know what other women on their street might be willing to murder a child. I think you're being a misogynist is the least of your problems. I am not a misogynist. Let's go straight. Come on. You deny that?
What is the evidence that I am a misogynist?
Every single thing you say about women.
Name one.
Name one. Name
one thing. Because seriously, name one thing.
Canada used to be one of our most loyal friends, and vice versa. I mean, Canada sent troops to Vietnam. Was Vietnam less containable and more of a threat?
No, actually, Canada did not send troops to Vietnam.
I don't think that's right.
Canada did not send troops to Vietnam.
Indochina?
No. Canada, Second World War, of course. Korea, yes.
I
Vietnam,
think you're wrong.
No, it took a pass on Vietnam.
I think you're wrong.
No, Australia was there, not Canada.
I think Canada sent troops. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Coulter never got back to us.
Welfare will create generations of utterly irresponsible animals.
Yeah. Those people. The poor.
When you walk past a mixed-race couple in New York, and it's like they have a chip on their shoulder, just waiting for somebody to say something, as if anybody would.
I don't agree with that. Really.
And
maybe you have the chip looking at them. I see a lot of interracial couples, and I don't see any more or less chips there either way.
No. In fact, there was an entire Seinfeld episode about Elaine and her boyfriend dating because they wanted to be a mixed-race couple. So you're lying.
Because it's in a Seinfeld episode. Okay.
But I think that's reflective of what's going on in the culture. But what do you think about Libya and Egypt? As long as I have you here.
What about them?
Are you in favor of us intervening in these two countries that didn't hit us on 9/11 solely for purposes of regime change?
Well, first of all, I didn't think we were intervening in Egypt. Are we?
We did.
What did we do? What did we do in Egypt?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Intervene or military? I mean, there's a difference.
You mean we talked about it?
We talked about it. Okay. Well, we can talk.
Well, we didn't send any troops or anything.
Yeah, we
didn't fly any bombs
or something.
We're not dropping bombs
not in Egypt.
No, just Libya.
No bombs in Egypt.
Just Libya. No,
No bombs. No Egypt bombs. No, just Libya. Libya bombs.
Libya bombs, no Egypt.
No Egypt bombs.
Not yet, anyway. We were threatening to, which is why Mubarak left.
No, we never threatened. No.
No, I think we did.
But you said we should just throw Judaism away and we should all be Christians then. Or,
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's a lot easier. It's kind of a fast track.
Really? You
have to obey.
You can't possibly believe that. You can't possibly. You're too educated. You can't. You like my friend?
Do you know what Christianity is? See, we believe your religion, but you have to obey.
No. But
we have the fast track program.
Sure. We want to put you with the head of Iran. I mean, come on. You can't believe that.
The head of Iran is not a Christian.
No,
I don't know if you've been paying attention.
That's why Israel left the earth. I mean, no Jews?
No, we just want Jews to be perfected as they.
What really said you?
Yeah, no, that's what Christianity is. We believe the Old Testament, but ours is more like Federal Express. You have to obey laws.
In my old
we know we're all
days,
sinners.
I would argue, when you say something absurd like that, there's no.
What's absurd?
Jews are going to be perfected. I'm going to go off and try and perfect myself. Ann Coulter, author of If Democrats Have Any Brains, They Be Republicans, and if Ann Coulter had any brains, she would not say Jews need to be perfected. I'm offended by that personally. And when we have more big idea when we come back.
Do you believe everything in the book, or do you put some things in there just to cater to your base?
No, of course I believe everything.
Right. On the 9/11 widows, and in particular a group that had been critical of the administration, these self-obsessed women seemed genuinely unaware that 9/11 was an attack on our nation and acted as if the terrorist attack only happened to them. They believed the entire country was required to marinate in their exquisite personal agony. Apparently, denouncing Bush was an important part of their closure process, and this part is the part I really need to talk to you about. These broads are millionaires, lionized on TV and in articles about them, reveling in their status as celebrities and stalked by grieferazzis. I've never seen people enjoying their husband's death so much.
Yes.
Because they dare to speak out?
To speak out using the fact that they're widows.
Ann Coulter, who was supposed to be on the show about an hour and a half ago, is now on the phone as well. Ann?
Hello.
Hi, Ann. You're late, baby doll.
Somebody gave me the wrong number.
How did you get the right number? Just dialed randomly? Eventually you got through to our show?
No, my publicist emailed it to me, I guess, after checking with you. But I am really tight on time right now because I already had it.
All right, well, get lost.
Oh, my God.
Did you really just hang up on Ann Coulter?
Listen, you bitch. Don't call in an hour and a half late and tell me you're tight on time. Of course you're tight on time. You're an hour and a half goddamn late calling into the radio show. Just take your crappy book and go pitch it to your stupid cable outlets. We'll do a
gay marriage. Why can't gays get married like straights do?
Well, they can. They have to marry a member of the opposite sex.
Why can't they marry a member of their sex?
No, I think this is another one where you're just sucking up to liberals when there are big fights. We really need to be having in a very
individuals should be left alone.
But my reason, it has nothing to do with libertarians or gays or anything else. Marriage is the most important institution to civilize young people, bring them into. I mean, I want to make divorce a lot more difficult too. Liberals want to destroy. This is an important point, libertarians. You listen to this. Liberals want to destroy the family so that you will have one loyalty, and that is to the government. We ought to look at him as an enemy combatant and moving him toward a military tribunal.
Yes, a civilian trial for terrorists, not going to work. That's why Tim McVeigh, Ted Kaczynski, Ramsey Youssef, and the Blind Sheik roam our fair country in a bus, going city to city, singing medleys of original hits, and... What's that? Really? The dead are in prison, huh? Well, who am I thinking of? Is it, the Muppets? Oh, all right.
Should I be converted to Christianity? Second of all, since I don't have a magic carpet, what other rules do you suggest?
This University of Western student read aloud some of Ann Coulter's quotes. The first, that Americans should invade Muslim countries, kill their leaders, and convert them to Christians. Fatima Al-Dahar also referred to another quote where Coulter said Muslims should use magic carpets as an alternate mode of transportation.
I want to know about this wife as well. I don't care if she knew about this. She ought to be in prison for wearing a hijab.